So today I am here with the new Hourglass Ambient Strobe Lighting Powders. So I picked mine up in the shades Brilliant Strobe Light and Euphoric Strobe Light. They come in 4 shades, but these I felt were the most suited for my skin tone. So essentially these are Hourglass highlighters. They are similar relatively to the finishing powders, but essentially they have a more concentrated level of the crushed pearl technology that Hourglass uses in their finishing powders. And these micro pearl particles also vary in size in these powders so that it kind of catches light and makes it look a little more luminous than the finishing powders. So this one is Brilliant Strobe Light. It is more of a yellow gold based highlighter, and this is Euphoric Strobe Light. It's definitely more of a kind of skin tone tan champagne shade that I found had the most shimmer. These powders have something Hourglass calls photoluminescent technology, where essentially they're supposed to capture, diffuse, and soften the surrounding light that hits your skin to make your skin in general look more refined and smooth and lit. You can also use these wet or dry depending on the finish you want. Dry, of course, it's going to be a lot more of a subtle highlight, but wet, you're supposed to get more of an intense kind of focused highlight with a lot more brightness. Now, all these claims sound fantastic, but do they really work? I actually was not super stoked for these highlighters just because I adore the finishing powders, but Incandescent Light is one of the shades, and it was released in an Hourglass palette, like the 3 little finishing powder palette, and that was the one powder that I just was not drawn to. It was too pale for me, especially for a highlighter on my skin tone. It was just kind of like chalky and white looking. So when these released and I saw the shades, I was like, there is no way that these are gonna suit my skin tone. I actually have no highlight on now, and I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like when you apply it dry versus when you apply it wet, and then I will give you my thoughts. So I'm gonna go ahead with Euphoric Strobe, and I'm using just a Real Techniques setting brush. So I'm just gonna kind of dust it in and then place this on the high points of my cheeks. So that right there is Euphoric Light. This is a pretty glowy highlight. Is it metallic? No. But it's a very intense highlight in a very natural way. So to apply it damp, I'm actually going to use the sponge that Hourglass released kind of in conjunction with these powders. Now you have to buy it separately. This is actually the first time I'm using it. I have been using just my normal beauty blender damp, but for this video, I kind of wanted to pick this up since I'm doing the demo and do a little bit of a first impressions. So this sponge is basically a little bit of a tougher feel than the Beauty Blender. It kind of feels like those Tempur-Pedic mattresses almost. But what I thought was really cool is the bottom has almost this velour feeling coat. And actually one of the girls at my Sephora is the one who showed this to me, and you basically can twist the bottom of this sponge into any of the finishing powders and like tap it on and cover your whole face. Have I tried it? Obviously not, because like I said, this is the first time I'm using this sponge, but I will try it and let you know. So it has a slanted edge, and this slanted edge is supposed to be ideal for the highlighters. So actually, I think what I'm gonna do for the sake of this demo first impression situation is I'm going to apply the Euphoric Strobe Light to my other cheek using the sponge dry, because you can use it dry or wet, it claims. So let's see what it looks like. So I'm just gonna pack it on, I guess, and then let's see what happens. What? I don't understand. That's not right. I don't think you can pick it up in the camera, but it's literally leaving shapes of this, like it's making circles of this highlighter. So let me actually try using like an edge of it, like one of the rounded edges. That's better. Truth be told, I actually can't tell a difference from when I apply this with a brush and the dry sponge. I kind of prefer using the brush because I'm able to get a lot more precision. This sponge doesn't exactly give me that much precision, and I'm not gonna lie, I feel like it kind of moved a little bit of my like base makeup that I'm wearing underneath, which is never a good thing. So let me go ahead and wet the sponge now and we'll see what happens. The one thing I do like about this sponge, it says online that it is made out of antimicrobial material. That kind of makes me feel a little bit safer about using it. Okay, so this sponge is sufficiently damp just right in this area. So I'm just gonna kind of get some product on here and let's see what happens. So that's kind of the intense effect you get when you use the sponge damp. This sponge actually worked pretty decently damp, but if I'm totally honest, I don't know if it works better than just my damp beauty blender. I will probably experiment and get back to you on that. So my final thought on these powders is I think that they're a nice product. Do I think everybody needs to go out and buy them right this moment? No. But I think that they are pretty highlighters. They give you a really nice kind of lit from within glow. And I actually do like the way they apply both dry and wet. The thing I don't like about these powders necessarily is that all of them are kind of this really light base shade. Euphoric is actually the darkest of all 4 shades. So if you have my skin tone or darker, I would be a little bit weary of these highlighters just because you can look ashy very quickly. While I've been testing these out, I have had issues where before I know it, and when I kind of move away from the mirror to get like a whole face view, I have these 2 like white gray stripes on my cheekbones, and it is not a cute look. So maybe try this on in store. If you actually have deep skin tones, maybe just don't even bother with this because it will show up ashy. In fact, right now it is showing up really pretty when it's catching the light, but in person I feel like anything more than this would make me look very chalky and ashy. But if you have fair to medium skin, I actually really think you're gonna like this. I do realize that sometimes for very fair skin tones it is difficult to find a great highlighter, and I think these would be nice options because I think they will show up beautifully. The brush, on the other hand, I don't know whether you absolutely need it. Again, I am going to test out this side, but as far as applying the highlighter goes, you should be fine with either a brush or a beauty blender will do the job. All in all, I think that these are cool products. They're unique. They'll be amazing for some people, but they're not really for everybody. So definitely go check these out before you place your order. Yeah, that's what I think about these bad boys. That brings me to the end of today's review. I hope you guys enjoyed my take on the Hourglass Strobe powders. Leave a comment down below for me though if you try this, and let me know what you think about the product because I'm actually super curious to see what you guys think. And also leave a comment down below and let me know what videos you guys want to see from me next. Until my next video though, thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye guys.